Hello, dear friends. Welcome once again at Lit City, the YouTube channel of your choice for literature. And in our series, Great Writers of World Literature, we are discussing about Canadian novelist and writer Margaret Atwood. And in today's session, we are going to discuss her very famous novel, The Blind Assassin, which is remarkable regarding its plot structure and issues it raises. So let's start our novel of the day, The Blind Assassin. Dear friends, some basic information about this novel. The genre of this novel is historical science fiction. It was first published in 2000. And if we talk about setting, there are two settings. One is Port Ticonderoga, which is a fictional town in Canada, and second setting is Sakiel Non, which is an alien planet. Okay, friends, first some brief background information that this novel is set against the lavish historical background of industrial revolution, two world wars, great depression period, and many other such events of great political and social importance, because its time frame is almost, we can say, 100 years, almost a century. So side by side there are many important events that affect the life of the characters in this novel. The novel also focuses on the changes in the position of women in society, especially of women artists due to feminist movements. Okay, a very interesting fact about these novels, the middle period of Margaret Atwood, is that she refuses to categorize them as feminist or science fiction. Now, why? Because obviously there are many issues related with feminist writings and concerns, and she also employs many scientific tropes, but she still refuses to categorize her novel as such. She rather calls them work of social realism, or the popular term speculative fiction. Now, in a speculative fiction, you can see by this graph there are so many mixing of so many genres. There is obviously historical facts, there is some horror, there are tropes of science fiction, fantasy is involved, and there is also speculation. All these are intermixed, and she creates a new kind of genre. The novel is in the form of a frame story, or what is called Chinese box structure, because there are three layers of plot. And the outermost plot is set in almost current time 1998 and deals with Iris Chase, a woman in her 80s and who is writing a manuscript. Along with her recollection of her life from childhood up to this age, there are excerpts from a novel, The Blind Assassin, from which the title of the work is derived, and it is supposedly written by Iris' younger sister Laura and published in the year 1947. And then there is another layer, as the protagonist of this particular novel, The Blind Assassin. He tells a story of a girl from an alien planet, a distant planet, Zychron. You can see in this particular diagram. So first or outermost shell is that of Iris Chase. Events are recorded from 1880s, present, childhood, youth, marriages, and later life. Then this is told by Iris Chase. The second frame is the novel Blind Assassin, which is supposedly written by Laura, sister to Iris. And in this there are two characters, unnamed character, a man and a woman, and man is telling a story. This is the third frame. It is the story of a girl from Sakiel Non, which is a city on Zychron planet. And if we look at the main characters chart, which is prepared by one of a brilliant student, and she basically put all these things together for you to understand. There is Benjamin, the eldest member, who is not directly involved in the plot. His wife Adelia, then their three sons Norval, Percival, and Edgar. Then Norval married to Liliana, and Liliana, there is housekeeper Rini and Myra. They both are dead. And then their daughters Iris Chase and Laura Chase. And then Iris is married to Richard Griffin, along with very important role of her sister Winifred. Then their daughter Amelia and Amelia's daughter Sabrina. And there is also a character Alex Thomas in the life of both these girls, Iris and Laura. And it is basically situated in Trinco d'Aroga, which is a fictional town. There is also a Skyle non-city, which is given in this particular novel, The Blind Assassin. It is written by Laura. There are many newspaper items reporting about social and political events. Now, Iris and Laura were born in 1916 and 19 respectively into a rich business family of Port Tincon-Daroga, Canada. Their grandfather Benjamin had established a button manufacturing unit there. Benjamin had married Adelia, a woman from an aristocratic family. She oversaw the building of their paternal house, Avilion. Now, Benjamin and Adelia had three sons, Norval, Edgar, and Percival. During the First World War, all three go to the border involved in the war, and the younger two die, and only Norval returns. He gets married. Actually, he is engaged before going to war to Liliana. Now he gets married to her, but soon he is bored with the routine married life. After death of Adelia, when she is almost pregnant and there are two daughters already, the elder one Iris and younger one Laura, and she is yet again pregnant when she dies. Rini, she takes the responsibility of keeping the house and bringing up the young children. Their mother Liliana dies while being pregnant, and before dying, she asks Iris to take care of Laura. In the 1930s, now it is the period of Great Depression. Business is declining. It is in dwindling form. Norval makes a business partnership with Richard Griffin. Richard Griffin is actually his rival, but he somehow agrees to help him out in the business. Now, after death of his wife, Norval is also having an affair with a young sculptor, Callista Fitzsimmons. The girls are tutored first by an old lady whom they call Miss Violence, but she is rather a liberal lady. And then they are tutored by Mr. Erskine, who is prone to give punishment on some petty issues. Now, Erskine molests Laura, and it leaves a permanent mark on her psyche. Though when she confesses this thing, she reveals this behavior of Erskine to Iris, she doesn't believe Laura's story. Then Laura, who is a born rebel, she befriends a young wing leader, Alex Thomas, and introduces him to Iris. And she invites Alex to a dinner at home given for Richard Griffin, which irritates her father because he doesn't like Alex after knowing that he belongs to the leftist party. Due to financial problems, Norval has to shut down his factory, and as a result, the workers call for a strike, which turns into a riot, and eventually the factory is burned down. Alex is accused of instigating the rioters, and a warrant is issued against him. Laura, concerned for his safety, hides him in her house with the help of Iris. Now, gradually, Alex and Iris, they come close to each other, and one day, Alex kisses Iris. Alex finally leaves the house and successfully escapes from the town. Norval informs Iris that Richard wants to propose her and insists that she must accept so that they can save their business. Though Laura tries to dissuade Iris from marrying Richard, but Iris eventually marries him in 1935. Iris soon realizes that it is a loveless marriage and she is further dominated by Richard's sister Winifred, who tries to fashion her according to the rich society. After her honeymoon, when Iris comes back, she is shocked to learn that her father died because Richard declined his part of deal. She also comes to know that Richard knew about the death of her father. Laura, she is because underage, can't live at Evelyn alone, so she is asked to come and live with Richard. Evelyn is left in care of Renee so that Richard and family can come and stay during the summers. Lara doesn't arrive at Richard's house as per schedule, and when searched, she is found at a vacation destination which is infamous for being a hideout for unmarried pregnant ladies. Laura is obviously chastised for her behavior, and Richard and Winifred keep her in strict vigilance. Iris is not allowed much to talk with her, though once Laura informed Iris that she met Alex. Richard is now interested in making his political career. Iris also notes that Laura and Richard don't feel comfortable in each other's company. While Iris is pregnant for the first time, Richard informs her that Laura is admitted to a mental hospital due to her increasing delusional belief that she is pregnant. However, they don't allow Iris to meet or talk with Laura. Iris gives birth to Amy, her first child, in 1937, and she loses touch with Laura for some time. Laura runs away from the mental institute and meets Renee, but she refuses to meet Iris. She also gives Renee some hints about her next destination. She sent a coded message to Iris, but Iris, after spending lot of time, fails to understand what Laura means by this particular message. Finally, in 1945, Laura meets Iris and tells her that she was actually pregnant at that time. It was not a delusion, and hints that Richard was the father of the child, that Richard raped her again and again. Iris also hints that the real father of her child is Alex. Hearing this, Laura steals, because Laura was under impression that Alex loved on her, but Iris tells her that Alex loved Iris. She steals Iris' car keys and drives off. Next day, the police informs Iris that Laura has driven off the car from a bridge and died. Iris now gets the manuscript of Laura's notebook and comes to know that Richard has been raping Laura for years. She leaves with Amy and leaving a note for Richard informing that she now knows the whole truth. She goes back to Port Ticonderoga and in 1947 publishes The Blind Assassin under Laura's name. Richard's political career is also over due to this scandal, because in the second edition of the book there is wild guesses that this story is actually the real story, and Richard's atrocities over Laura is disclosed. Soon he commits suicide. However, Winifred wins the custody of Amy and takes her away with her. This causes a gap between Iris and Amy, and later Amy's daughter Sabrina. Actually, Amy, when she is growing up, she rejects both Iris and Winifred. She lives a troubled life, being a drug addict. She doesn't consider Iris to be her mother. In their last meeting, Amy accuses Iris of killing Laura, and an outraged Iris leaves her. 3 weeks later, Amy is found dead in front of her house. Iris lives a lonely life until her old age. Rini's daughter Myra now takes care for her, though Iris now feels that she is on the verge of death. Iris also now reveals that The Blind Assassin was actually written by her, though Laura contributed to it. Many of their experiences are presented in it in allegorical form. She has also written a second manuscript detailing the events of the family life for Sabrina to read and understand. Iris dies in May 1999 and Sabrina comes from India to take care of her grandmother's belongings. Dear friends, along with the main story, there is, intermingled the blind assassin, which tells the story of a man and woman and in relationship. They frequently meet at different places, and man tells the women different stories. And one story is that of Sakel Non, a city on Jykron planet that follows a strictly segregated caste system. On this planet, a girl is about to be sacrificed and a blind assassin is hired to kill her, which is a part of a plot to overthrow the king of Sakel Non. They fell in love and escape Sakel Non just as it is about to be attacked. However, they are eaten by wolves. So this is the story. The man tells the women. He tells her many stories related with science, related erotic stories, but this is the main story. He tells her in many parts. The woman is horrified by the end of the story. The man then asks her to come with him as he would leave due to Spanish Civil War. But the woman says she can't forsake her husband due to the lack of money. The man returns sometime later and informs the woman that a new war is about to begin, asking her again to come with her. Now this time the woman agrees and makes plan to leave her husband. However, soon she gets the news that the man has been killed. So this is the story of the second plot, The Blind Assassin. So friends, this was all in our this discussion over The Blind Assassin, a very popular work by Margaret Atwood. Very soon we will discuss another important novel by a major writer of English literature. Thank you friends.